In answering the questions, we will invite the members of the task team to assist, so feel free to ask questions about any aspect that has been spoken to up to now. Please put up your hand, I will note you, identify yourself, and ask your question. We'll take a round of questions, 5 at a time, and then we'll afford our principals an opportunity to ask questions. Linda, we'll start with you, and the lady just behind you, I cannot see properly. I thought I saw a hand to the left. Is there any other hand? Shall we take 5 questions at a time? Okay, it looks like we have 2 for the moment. 3 and Siwe at the back. In that order, please. Linda?
Yes, Linda Ensor from Business Day. I'd like to ask 3 questions if I can. The one is, should the Budget Office come up with proposals highly critical of Treasury's assumptions, what is the process going to be that Treasury is not going to lose credibility and legitimacy in this process of being questioned by Parliament? The second question is, what is going to prevent the proposals of the Budget Office being hijacked and used by the opposition in a political battle against government? And the third is, how are you going to secure the independence of the Budget Office in this highly politicized context? Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Yes, ma'am, right behind Linda.
Hi, Shanti Abubakar from Independent Newspapers. I wanted to ask, for how much longer will DBSA be supporting the Parliamentary Budget Office, and what is the extent of its support? Is it providing financial assistance to Parliament for this office?
Thank you very much. And Siwe?
My name is Andy Siwe Makinana from the Mail and Guardian. My question is linked to Linda's question about the independence of this office. Who is going to be appointing the staff of the Budget Office? Is it going to be Parliament, as in politicians, or how is it going to be done?
Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Let me at this stage introduce members of the task team who will assist in answering the difficult questions. It's Honorable Frolick, over there. Honorable De Beer, who is with the NCOP. Where is he? There we are. Okay. Honorable Chane, also with the NCOP. Sogoni, with the National Assembly, and Mufumadi, who is on his way here. So, Professor Jahed, do you want to start? Or the task team? The task team, Honorable Frolick?
No, thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I'll deal with some of the questions. The first one deals essentially with the relationship of how do you manage the relationship between the Parliamentary Budget Office, the 4 committees of appropriations and finance in both houses of Parliament, and then Treasury. We see a dynamic relationship with Treasury. Already, those 4 committees work very, very closely with the Treasury. Treasury is a department over which Parliament must also exercise oversight. It is a very crucial department because that is where the continuous process around all matters of finance, of course, happens. So it will be a process where the Budget Office reports in terms of the analytical work that they will be doing directly to those 4 committees, and that will be the point of interaction with the National Treasury. And as I say, Honourable Speaker, we see a very dynamic process that will unfold there. Secondly, in terms of a political battle, Parliament is the terrain of political contestation. So any work that the Parliamentary Budget Office will do will find its way to those 4 committees. Those 4 committees are multi-party committees. So all of them will receive exactly the same reports. And it is that process there where the different political parties will make their input, and whatever recommendations is there from the Parliamentary Budget Office will be dealt with at that specific forum. In terms of ensuring the independence of the office, the Act is very, very clear. And by the way, it's not a draft bill that is still in front of Parliament that has established the Parliamentary Budget Office. This is a law that was promulgated by Parliament way back in 2009 already. So the budget will operate under the prescripts of the Act, and the Act is very clear in terms of reporting lines and the role of the office. In terms of the role of DBSA support, I'll ask someone else to deal with that. Suffice to say, Speaker, that we are very grateful for the assistance that we have received thus far from the DBSA, but it will also be unreasonable from Parliament to continuously rely on the external support of the DBSA, and that's why we are at an advanced stage of dealing with the appointment of the Director of the Budget Office. In fact, we've sent off a communique, myself and the Honourable House Chairperson from the NCOP, the Honourable Tau, to the Chairpersons of the Appropriations and Finance Committees in both Houses of Parliament in order to deal with the appointment process of the Director. So within the foreseeable future, we can well say that the appointment of the Director will be imminent once the 4 committees have completed their work. And the last question from the Mail and Guardian, who will appoint all these others who will populate the Budget Office? In terms of the Act, once again, the 4 committees on appropriations will play a role, and they take the lead in terms of the appointment of the Director. Thereafter, it is then incumbent on the Director of the Budget Office to take the lead in terms of appointing the support staff, including from Deputy Director level, of those who will populate that office.
Professor Jahed? Other members? Mr. Honourable Sogoni?
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I would like to respond to I think it's a small question, and clearly there's a tendency to distort this independence. The question is talking about the independence of the office. If you read 15.1 of the Act, it says, there is hereby established a Parliamentary Budget Office headed by a Director, the main objective of which is to provide independent, objective, and professional advice. It's not the office that is independent, but it is the Director should have the capacity to provide this independent, objective, and professional advice. So I think sometimes there's a misunderstanding of people thinking that Parliament is establishing an office that will be independent elsewhere of Parliament. It is not the office, Honourable Speaker, but it's the views of this Director that explain that, in other words, the Act says the Director must be free to express independent views. That's just all but second, just lastly, around the National Treasury. This office, again, Honourable Speaker, is not intended to compete with National Treasury. Honourable Froelich says the office will have a dynamic relationship with National Treasury. You said, Honourable Speaker, the intention of the Parliamentary Budget Office is to give support to committees of Parliament, to give support, not to reverse what national, or to substitute what National Treasury does, but over and above, once National Treasury submits, like the Minister will do tomorrow, then the duty of this office is to support Parliament to analyze that budget that will have been presented by the Minister of Finance or Treasury. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Other members of the task team do want to come in at this point? No. Just to go back in history, that this process of establishing the Budget Office started actually in the second Parliament, and then went into the third Parliament. It was a contested terrain. It was not finalized in the second, not finalized in the third. We're now in the fourth Parliament. It's only now that we're able to say we can now begin to establish this office. It's taken quite a while. It's taken quite a while because there are lots of things that we needed to agree, and we have finally reached a point where there's broad consensus. Clearly, it's an important office because it gives advice to Parliament And the better informed members of parliament are, the better technically skilled they are, the better able to play an oversight role. Certainly the office itself will be independent, as indeed the advice coming out of the office. At the end of the day, it is an office that is intended to assist Parliament play an oversight role. Thanks. Professor.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, just one point, and I think just to clarify and support what Mr. Frolik and yourself have said, the Budget Office is nothing more than the technical capacity for the committees of Parliament to undertake the oversight function. It does not make ideological statements, it does not make assumptions, it provides technical support in a non-partisan way to the committees of Parliament to undertake their functions of fiscal oversight. And that is all that the Budget Office is about.
And finally, there was a question as to how long the DBSA is going to continue to support Parliament. We hope that till the end of the year, after that, Parliament will have to be able to fund and run the office. And we'd like to take this opportunity to thank the DBSA for having seconded Professor Jahed and for all the support they will continue to give to Parliament. Thanks.